Hello, Squick here. Um, I'm making this as a video response to OGGM, and I'll link the other. I'm sorry, man. I don't quite remember your full handle. Um, I believe it's like unscripted adventures. I think it's unscripted adventures. Anyways, both of you asked some questions, and you said you're not going to bring up the topic anymore. I respect that, and I don't want you guys, either of you, to make a response to this. I'm just saying my point of view. Um, I'll start with OGGM. You had a point. You brought up two things you don't understand in the current 2022 RPG scene. The second point you brought up was solo play. And you had some good things in terms of saying, if you want to do solo play, go on and use a video game. The thing is, like, there are times, for example, when um like for me, I would say my friends can't make it down because they live all out of town, and they can't make it down because of, like, we have snow. So they can't really make it down here to to play. So for me, a solo thing would be great because we could do um you know I could have my experience. And yes, I understand we also have things like uh drive not drive through roll not roll 20. There's an online thing where you could play games on. I understand that kind of thing. It's just still something to have the experience with people around. Like, I mean, you probably understand that, having the people around. But for me, I also don't mind having the exercise of, like, let's see what the dice say and things like that. So it's just something like that. So sometimes you just don't have the opportunity to have other people around. Oh, and they could just also be busy and they don't have the time to hop on, and it's just, when it gets your fix, just have a solo session. I mean, and no, you can't say like a CRPG or a JRPG is the same thing, because it's not really it has to have good immersion, but sometimes it's just like not really there. Sometimes it is like, sometimes you're going, okay, this is a good story. I think a lot of JRPGs have it. Not everyone, but a lot of them have a good story, contrary to what some other people think. Computer games are very good at with or yeah, computer RPGs are pretty good with with the story sometimes. Now, the other point for unscripted is, sir, you said, why is why is the species thing even thing? I agree with you. It shouldn't have really been as big of a deal that I guess WotC made it to be. I think they're like, I kind of have agreed that they're just trying to say, hey, look, we're doing better because everyone else has changed race in some of the other fantasy games. Pathfinder 2, for example, you have heritages. Um, they could have just put it in and not said a word, and I think that probably would have been just as fine. I think lineage is a better term than species, just because it has more flexibility when you have like half um half like tight tieflings and the other stuff. I just think that'd be a better thing to use than species. And the reason why it's kind of an issue is, while some people didn't correlate orcs to African Americans or black people, it was because, let's say, a lot of old gamers and a lot of the things back around were just cis white guys. And they're the ones who really had the focus. So, of course, they would never correlate the correlation, which kind of was the reason why some people didn't play. Here where I'm at, it's white kids. I mean, I'll just say it like that. It's white kids who are playing, Magic the Gathering or D&D or any RPG. And the very few people of color who play, yeah, you have them, but it still feels a little bit awkward. Not always. Like my old gaming group, we were thankfully collected enough to where we all had um different things, but it's still there. And the underlying issues with, for example, Tolkien's work were there. It's just that no one really thought about it. It wasn't a major thing, but how many people of color could sit there and read Tolkien? Some did. I'm not saying I just say that. Could read Tolkien and be like, yeah, I connect with Aragorn, or I connect with Legolas. You didn't. Yeah, I was thinking or even fucking um, yeah, or even sorry, coworker, or even the Hobbits, because you're just even look at the movies. It's just, you know, it wasn't that. And I think that, and that's also why I think like when people of color are brought into like Star Trek or to the other things that we saw with the Game of Thrones, we saw it with Star Wars and other things. People are going like, no, dude, it's representation is a good thing. And I think that's what a lot of people are not getting is how much the representation works. I'm a trans woman. Yeah, I'm a trans woman, and I'm a person of color. So there isn't much in terms of the characters in traditional things that I can relate to. Whereas other systems, if they're saying, "Hey, this is for you," and they have more representation, Pathfinder 2, I think, is an excellent example with Paizo's doing it. To going, that's my character. I could actually represent that, and that's what's more cool about it than what we had before. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Thanks, guys. I'll tag you in this thing. Really great to actually do this, and I I think I have to say that this is good for me to start doing content again, just so I could actually do things. I used to do other stuff, and I really need to go back to it because I enjoy doing things like this, just to have being creative. So, anyways, have a wonderful day. Take care, and just stay classy.